on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web here on a Victory Monday. After your Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business over the Detroit Lions 20-16 to now move to 2-0. We'll definitely be talking to you tonight. I don't have a lot of guests. I have one guest, that's Jason Powers. We may have Harry the Greek on here. Professional handicapper extraordinaire. We'll see how this goes because I've devoted this time to Bucs Nation because I know that you want to talk about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers being 2-0. Let's go! Right? Because we always talk about Victory Monday, how much everything is that much better. You get up in the morning, you may hate your job, but guess what? The Bucs won, so the job is good. And, of course, I did pretty good today at the job. The breakfast is better. It doesn't matter if you didn't have any sleep or not. You know why? Because the Bucs won. That's always important. Even if you have a significant other, that significant other is better. How do we start off this show to make it better? 3 things. You know them, you love them, you got to have them. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Once again, I'm your Rolex reporter, Mr. Peter Blake here, live on a Monday night. We will have Jason Powers, Powers on Sports podcast, Spectrum Sports 360 at 9:30. As I said, we will have Harry the Greek on, talking about this Bucs game, if you didn't get enough of it. Breaking down some of the things we saw or may have missed. Thanks a lot to all the people out there at Fergs, all the football fans. And that will be a staple moving forward. Doing those away games at Fergs Bar and Grill there in downtown St. Pete. So now Bucs fans, on the home games, we go to What the Buck Tailgate. We do a pregame show. I get into the press box, of course, in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show, which they will play the Denver Broncos this Sunday, which is certainly a winnable game. This schedule is setting up great. It is. This was probably one of the most important wins in the last couple years, wouldn't you say? Especially with all the injuries this team had. Again, no Kalijah Kancey. No Luke Gedeke. Could see that yesterday with Aiden Hutchinson taking over. But still, with all that being said, no Antoine Winfield Jr. He's gone. The best safety in the league, not playing. Guy stepped up. Christian Itzian stepped up. Zion McCollum stepped up. That's what you need. Tyke Smith stepped up. So that was an important victory by this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. Because it goes back to what Ric Flair said. Right? Because I met him yesterday. You saw the pictures. That's how Bucs fans should feel when you go into work this morning. You feel alive. You're styling and profiling. You got the Rolex on. Some of you. Probably not most of you, but just saying. There's a certain sense of sports swag, if you will. Do you like that word? That's what I call it. Like I said, everything is better on Victory Monday. But what does he always say? What does Ric Flair always say? Woo! In order to be the man, you've got to beat the man. And the Lions beat the Bucs last year in the divisional playoff game. Right? And no chance, once again, by the national media. If you watch the preview of what I'm talking about on NFL Network, there on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. Not one single analyst picked this Bucs team to beat the Lions yesterday. And yet they pull it off. So I want to hear from you tonight. This is your show. Like I said, What the Buck Tailgate on home games, then afterwards on the field, and then away games at Fergs. How about that? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. How do you feel today about the win? How important was this victory? And listen, I know there's people out there that's going to say, it's too early. It's too early to get excited. Hogwash and bull. Not on this show. Not on this show. You get excited about Bucs wins, get excited about it. When they lose, we dissect it. We all know that you have to get off to a good start and you can't win the Super Bowl in the first couple weeks. But what does the legend say, Leo Haggerty? You can lose it in the first couple of weeks. You want to be the Baltimore Ravens? Not me. Who else is 0-2 right now? It looks like the Falcons could be 0-2. You want to be 0-2 like the Atlanta Falcons? You want to be like the Carolina Panthers? What is that? My voice just cracked because I can't believe it. How awful they look. By the way, Bryce Young, nice to meet you. Young man, bring your playbook. You're not starting on Sunday. Andy Dalton is. By the way, what a disaster that is. You feel bad for Dave Canales yet? Grass isn't always greener on the other side, although I understand it because it's one of, 31 jobs out there, 32 jobs? So you got to be a head coach, but what a complete and total disaster. So when somebody says on this show, don't get excited about the Bucs, tell them 3 things. Shut the hell up. I think that was 4 things. Shut the hell up. Because if you watch this show on a nightly basis before and after Bucs games, you're diehards like I am. You watch from the very beginning. People will say, act like you got to the end zone before, Peter. And I say, hogwash. Enjoy the wins when you got them. Because you don't know how many wins you're going to have. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So the Bucs dodge a bullet today. It looks like, well, it doesn't look like, but Bucs defensive tackle Vita Vea has a MCL sprain and may actually play this week. Now, somebody got in my inbox today, and that's okay, webheads. You can get into my inbox if you want to talk Bucs football, if you want to talk sports in general. Hell, if you just want to vent, if you want to go crazy, like some of you yesterday were going crazy in the inbox, saying the Bucs got no chance. What are they doing with Aiden Hutchinson? You know, it's amazing. And what I say, what do I say to you? Calm down. Game's not over yet. Have faith in this Tampa Bay Buccaneer organization, right? I'm the calm one. I'm the one that's talking to you. But seriously. So MCL sprain for Vita Vea, day to day. But anyway, somebody got into my inbox today and says, should we rest Vita Vea? And I say, look, you got to have faith in Todd Bowles and what this Buccaneer organization wants to do going forward. If he's able to play, if he's healthy enough to play, you play him. Well, you play to win the game. Well, Herm Edwards said that. If he's healthy, that's what you do. As my phone is going off right now. The heck is that all about? I mean, that's what it comes down to. If he's healthy to play, you play him. If Kalijah Cansey, which hopefully he is, healthy, you play him. Antoine Winfield Jr., we'll see. But Vita Vea, day to day, as we all are on this earth. Day to day, my friends. All right, let's go out to the web heads here, the text messages. Love that because you can text in, you can call in if you want to. I know some of you were trying to call yesterday. I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate you guys calling in. As I always say, you guys are the lifeblood of what this is all about, what the sports web is all about. We could sit out there and talking to a blue in the face about this team and about all the other NFL teams. But we like the participation. We like the engagement. We like the excitement. So thank you very much for once again doing that. Andrew says, nice. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Tim. Good evening, guys. Good evening to you.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Braun. What's up? The Sports Web Bucs Nation. Let's heal up and get ready for next. Absolutely.
Woo!
That's what it comes down to. Healing up and getting ready. And one of the other web heads today, because, I was posting the pic about Ric Flair with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay. He said it best. Just imagine this right now. And I get it's the NFL. Injuries are a part of the process, right? It's always a part of the process. You don't know what's going to happen at that point. So they're a part of the game. Guys got to step up. You're hurt by it. It can definitely be a critical situation where it hits you where you don't necessarily have the depth, right? So with that being said, they're 2-0 without all their talented players. How much better is this Bucs team going to be when they get everybody back? So without further ado, I'll stop flapping my jaws. We'll go out to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television phone line here. Let's go ahead and go out to Frankie from Wisconsin. Welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television on a Victory Monday.
Give me a victory. Can I get a victory?
Victory!
Let's go!
Victory!
Victory.
Yes. And I
man,
need to get that, and
victory.
I need to get that sound effect. I know what you're talking about too from Entourage. We got to get that.
Yeah, you need to get that.
I need to
Ooh.
get that. Yes. And by the way, I'll put it out there again. If you are a webhead, you want to call this show, if you're a fan of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I will give you a sound effect. Put it on my wall. I'll put it out there tomorrow. Every time you call, we'll try to get your sound effect on. I don't know what sound effect you want. I kind of think I know what you want at this point, so I'm not going to even ask, right? It's Joe Henry.
You could probably go with Joe Henry. He's like, Joe Henry is like in my top 10, but he is not like one of my.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, you have more reels of Joe Henry than I've ever seen in my life, man. It's impressive. It really is. Your dedication
I'm trying to get Joe Henry to follow me back.
I know you are. I know you are, my friend. I know. So we'll go with that. But give me your thoughts here on a Victory Monday. After once again the Bucs.
Victory Monday.
Yes,
Victory Monday,
it's nice,
man.
right?
All I can sit there is look at how our backup just stepped up.
Yes.
And dude, that's all you gotta look at.
Yeah.
I was honestly going, dude, our secondary is banged up. Are we going to actually do anything?
Did you believe that they would lose that game
gosh.
yesterday? When you were coming into that game, did you believe, like a lot of analysts believed, national media, NFL Network, Fox Sports, CBS Sports, whomever else, did you believe that they were going to lose that game yesterday?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Well, if you go back to yesterday.
Be honest now. Are you being honest with me or are you fibbing me?
Yesterday, when I called you in the pre-show.
Okay.
I said it was going to be a low-scoring game.
Okay.
And the Buccaneers were going to win by 3.
Yes.
And I couldn't remember if I said it was like 22-19. I think that's what I said it was.
Okay.
Something like that.
I think you said something like that.
I said it was going to be low-scoring. It was going to be a defensive game.
Right.
And that's what it was.
Well, and it was a low scoring game, and I was surprised by that because I thought it would be on offense. But at the end of the day, let's face it, Todd Bowles' defense stepped up, especially when it comes down to the red zone territory. When you get 1 for 7 in the red zone, you're going to win games. When you hold teams to field goals and stop them on third down, you're going to win games. When you need a critical tackle in that critical situation on fourth down, Jordan Whitehead, the man on the spot, you need that tackle. He gets that tackle to end the game. That is winning football. That's winning defensive football.
Let me give a shout out to Harry real quick.
Yes.
Because Harry was sitting there in the pre-show going, "Hey, fantasy players, you should start Rachaad White today." And I was honestly sitting there on the fence about starting him. And I was like, you know what? No. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go with Godwin.
You went with Godwin, and how did that work out? How did that work out for you? By the way, worked out for you well, right?
Godwin just went to town.
Absolutely, you did.
But Harry made me go and second look at Godwin, going, yeah, we're gonna go with Godwin. I put Godwin in my flex and just, oh my goodness.
And you got some points out of that.
Oh,
How many points did you get from fantasy football yesterday?
I got 27 points off of Godwin.
Okay. All right. Good stuff, man. Congratulations on that. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I probably got the victory. I mean, I got to wait to see what happens tonight, because we got some guys that are going tonight.
You got some guys that are going tonight. Who do you got going tonight really quick?
Bijan.
You got Bijan Robinson. I'm not even watching that game. I got to turn that game on when I get a chance here. But give me a score update on that right now.
I'm watching Monday Night Raw, dude.
Well, so you're not even watching the football game at this point?
No, I'm watching Monday Night Raw. You know where
oh my gosh!
Unless it's the Buccaneers.
Somebody give me a score update on, because I'm gonna definitely.
Echo.
Yes.
What's this Echo? What's the score of the Falcons game?
That's great. That's absolutely fantastic. It's 7-3 right now. 7-3 Eagles. Well, I got that. Okay. Now everybody's coming.
7-3.
Now everybody's chiming in. I love that. I love when everybody chimes in. That's awesome, guys. Thank you very much for chiming in there.
That's the webheads going to town, baby.
That's it. That's exactly what they're doing right now. And as I'm producing on
Echo,
air.
I wasn't talking to you. Please shut your pie hole.
Well, okay. Stop talking to that and go ahead and finish up your thoughts here on this victory Monday for the Bucs. What else did you see? Are you happy that you dodged a bullet here with Vita Vea?
The only thing that I'm even more excited about,
yes,
is the numbers that Baker is going to put up this year.
Stand by, Frankie. Hold on a minute. Adam, stay on hold here. We'll come out to you when we're done with Frankie. All right?
Sure.
All right, stand by. We'll go out to Adam after we're done with Frankie. Go ahead, Frankie. Finish up.
I'm excited for the numbers that Baker is going to put up this year.
Well, look, 5 touchdowns already, 1 interception. He had 2 touchdowns yesterday, 1 throwing, 1 running, and once again, he just absolutely juked somebody out of their jock. Say that 3 times. That linebacker, that was just that was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. And you know what the other beautiful thing is? When the announcers start saying, man, that was a Barry Sanders type of move. Well, look, Barry Sanders, greatest running back of all time besides Walter Payton and Emmitt Smith, was a pretty damn good move. And it's pretty gutsy by Mayfield, because the very next play, he wants the ball, he wants the rock, and he gets in and scores for this Bucs team. So good stuff there, Frankie. Appreciate the call, my friend, as always.
Yeah.
Let me go back out. Yes, let me go out to Adam here. Adam, welcome to the Evolution on a victory Monday after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers move to 2-0. They defeat the Lions 20-16. Go.
It is an amazing period of time. It is an amazing period of time for the Bucs right now.
It is, absolutely. I mean, going into that game yesterday, how confident were you? Because we're definitely killing the national media tonight, killing the NFL Network, because if you watch the preview, not a single analyst picked the Bucs to beat the Lions. And I also have this too.
So
there you go. Yes.
I'm actually on an NFC North Facebook group.
Yes.
In addition to my NFC South, of course.
Okay.
And I went and predicted correctly that the Bucs would win. My thinking was, I felt like Jared Goff was going to have his way with the Bucs offense,
right?
But that we were going to need to overcome that with 3 touchdowns each by Godwin and Mike Evans.
Mm-hmm.
So my prediction was something like 42-31.
Right, and that's why I thought too, 34-31. Yes.
I had no idea that our defense was going to be as stout as it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. Now, I wasn't surprised with some of the fill-ins. Christian Eisen has been amazing
Etienne,
in
yes.
his role with the Bucs.
Yes, he has.
Since he's been with the team.
Yes.
I'm surprised he's not even a starter. He's earned being a starter as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's the reason why you got Tyke Smith. Tyke Smith is an upgrade, but that's the reason why you love the fact that Jason Light can draft depth players. So if there is a big-time critical injury, that somebody can step in right away and be productive. He was productive last year, but not good enough. The Bucs tried to upgrade. They had a competition in training camp, and Tyke Smith was the one that won it out. But that's not to say your job is over with, because your job is never done, because it's the National Football League, which means not for long, my friend.
Correct. Now, I've got a different approach than Frankie did, because if you remember, our Hall of Famer Warren Sapp used to say, offense, if you can give me 20 points a game.
24 points a game, I believe he said, right? 24
was
points
it?
a game? I think it was 24.
Somewhere between that, right?
Yes, 24 points a game, and the Bucs can stop them. Yes.
As long as our defense is on point. Yes.
Correct. And
as far as I'm concerned, we got it. We got 20 points that we needed.
Right.
So their coach, admitted his mistakes. But you know what? As far as the Lions are concerned, I would be concerned because the mistakes that they made yesterday are the kind of mistakes that are not easy to fix.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And, I hear that their coach is a gambler.
Mm-hmm.
But at the pro level, you should not be gambling. You need to be taking strategical risks, not just, you know what I'm saying?
Well, to your point, he's been successful. He's been a good coach. He's definitely turning around. It hurt him last year in the NFC Championship game because he had an opportunity to put away the 49ers. But with that being said, overall, last year and this year, he's been successful. But it's that 1 4th down. And he had this to say with that critical situation right before the half. I asked for improvement from last week was the story, and we did improve. And their coach cost them. Their head coach cost them this one. He says, so critical era to end the half and 100% on me. We improve those areas we got to continue to improve on, but it's not okay. And of course,
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. He's covering for some of his players.
Well, it's on the head coach. The head coach has to know that situation, and somebody on that sideline, and we talked about this with Todd Bowles calling timeouts, somebody has to know or alert somebody that, listen, you can't run out of time. If you got an opportunity to have points and put points on the board, you got to make sure that you either get out of bounds or you throw the ball out or you have better clock management, and it wasn't there. And it was on the head coach, and it was on him. And that could have been the difference in the game.
That point, I'm not disputing. What I'm saying is, individual players for the Lions did not have their best game of the season yesterday.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. That's absolutely fair.
And when you have bunches of individuals, not just one,
right,
but more than one, not playing at their best, it is difficult for the rest of the team to pick up the slack.
Stand by, Adam. Stand by. We got a call here. Stand by. We got Adam on the line. We're going to finish up with him, and then we'll come out to you with Jason Powers. All right? Stand by. Hold the line. All right. Adam, go ahead and finish up.
I'm here.
All right. Go ahead and finish up, man.
Okay. So look at how the Bucs played yesterday. Other than allowing for a fake punt, how were each of the three business units for the Bucs? There was very few, if any, gaps in there.
Yep, you had a big play there early in the game, 50 yards by Jamel Dean. You had a couple plays there. They did allow Amon St. Brown, who's done that to a lot of teams, have multiple catches, over 100 yards receiving. So definitely a problem there. Didn't get enough sacks. There's some things you could definitely pick apart. And then, of course, giving up the 5 sacks. But overall, you're exactly right. Your point is spot on. You didn't see a lot of those mistakes, especially in the third and the fourth quarter. And once again, when they needed to make those critical plays to shut down the opposing team, Adam, they were able to do that, man. I appreciate the call. Use that second call. We're going to get out to Jason Powers on Sports Podcast and Spectrum Sports 360. Keep on tuning in, my friend. All right?
All right. Have a good night.
Yep. Give me the Ric Flair right there. Let's go out to this guy, Mr. Superstar himself. We'll get back to the comments and phone calls because you can always call in. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. We got to get him an intro, some type of sound effect or something like that. Powers on Sports Podcast, Spectrum Sports 360, my tag team partner of the world, Mr. Jason Powers. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television on a Victory Monday after the Bucs take care of business and move to 2-0. Welcome.
How you doing, Peter Black? I need to be bowing to you, man. You're out there hanging out with the Nature Boy yesterday at the bar. You and Ray and Nate celebrating a Bucs W.
Yes, I went up to him. I said, listen, I'm Peter Blake. I'm the Rolex reporter. I got a Rolex from Jake Paul. I'd be honored if you come on the sports web and talk. No, I don't want to do that. Kind of hanging out with his lady friend. I went for it. I said, okay, can I get it? Can I get a picture with you? He gets the picture. And then we called it that. We both flashed our Rolexes together and talked a little bit, shook his hand and gave him a woo, of course. And that's what you call that flair drip. As the kids say, with that song that he did, even at over 70 years old, he's still styling and profiling, my friend. He's still the dirtiest player in the game, and it was definitely an honor to meet him live there at Ferg. So let's talk about this game, my friend. How surprised were you with this result? Because you look at it, you come into it, no Antoine Winfield Jr., no Kalijah Kancey, no Luke Gedeke, and Aiden Hutchinson just showed you how important Gedeke was on that right side. And then on top of that, you lose Vita Vea, but you still win 20-16.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the Bucs were a very live team here in this game because I just thought, when I heard Zion McCollum was going to play, that was encouraging. Obviously, you didn't know that, by the way, Luke Gedeke just made him a lot more money this weekend with the performance adjusted school when his contract's up in another year or so. So, again, that's kudos to Luke Gedeke for he probably just made himself another $4 or $5 million a year based on what you saw yesterday. But no, I expect this game to be a higher scoring game. I expect this game to be in the high 20s, low 30s. So all the credit in the world to Todd Bowles. Great job defensively. They gave up some yards and all that, but boy, did they buckle down in the red zone. Tremendous red zone defense. Not a ton of pressure, but again, when they did get pressure, they forced the bad throws. And as importantly, they caught the balls they had to catch when Jared Goff threw it to them.
And it started the first play of the game. Controversial to a certain degree because you look at the replay there. It definitely looks like the wide receiver is touched. He's impeded, if you will. After the 5 yards, you could touch him, but it was definitely a little way.
Caught a break.
Yeah,
caught a break.
Yeah, and you get an interception on that by Zion McCollum, which I think is encouraging to a lot of Bucs fans because you look at Carlton Davis, you move on from him. He's very talented, but the problem is he wasn't able to stay on the field or stay healthy. So it kind of validates it, if you will, with McCollum taking advantage of that opportunity on the first pass of the game by Jared Goff.
And almost had a second one on a great read on a crossing route or in the second quarter. Made a diving interception. It got got dislodged right when they hit the ground. But boy, he broke on that ball great. And again, another, draftable, developed player, and by Jason Light and Todd Bowles, give him credit. We've heard the hype for a couple years. We think this guy can be a good player, and he's turned out to be a pretty solid second corner to Jamel Dean. And be interesting to see again if they can keep him after another year. So if he keeps developing and keeps playing well, but he's definitely shown some signs of growth and that he belongs in the NFL as the starting corner.
Absolutely. And then in the fourth quarter there, midway a little bit later, like 6 minutes in, you get pressure up the middle. I'm not sure. I think it's Cavassier Dennis. Somebody coming on a blitz there, by the way, past the Cavassier because Cavassier Dennis was unbelievable, and it certainly looks like he earned a starting job yesterday. And by the way, you Devil White fans out there, he was a man on the milk carton. Guess what? He's a man on the milk carton this year because he was a healthy and active for the Eagles. So congratulations to the Bucs moving on from that guy who is a cancer in the locker room and definitely has shown his true colors there in Philly. But with that being said, Etienne comes up big of replacing Antoine Winfield Jr. Talk about that back end, because not only Etienne, but also Jordan Whitehead. We've already talked about Zion. I mean, really impressive for guys to step up, especially Etienne in that situation.
Etienne played really well. And one thing they did great, especially late in the game, they tackled, man. When the Detroit would catch those short balls, there were no missed tackles for the extra yards after the catch, and held Jordan Whitehead at an interception he should have easily intercepted on the one where he dropped on the sideline there. It wasn't a simple interception, but it was a ball he should catch in the National Football League. But yeah, very impressed with Dennis. Again, another drafted guy. We've been, he and KJ Britt, nice little tandem there in the middle there. So I think there's a good future there. Dennis will probably be the heir apparent, I would guess, to Levante David when he finally decides to call it a day. But again, injury-wise, again, give the Bucs credit. A lot of depth issues had to be tested yesterday. And again, it's nice to see that the defense can step up and win a game. I thought the Bucs were in trouble early when they didn't punch either one of those first two drives in the end zone and had to settle for field goals. I was thinking, this is going to come back to bite us here late in the game, and it almost did. But give the defense all the credit yesterday. Boy, they played a tremendous game.
Absolutely. Let's go out to the text line here from the Webheads. Let's see. Carl says Bucs beat Detroit in their house, banged up. Hell yeah. Absolutely. I'll give you a hell yeah.
Give me a hell yeah.
All right, there we go. Evening, everyone. Happy Victory Monday. Thank you, Christopher Cole. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Tim says in Atlanta has Casey coming in next week. Who is he talking about?
KC, the Chiefs play in Atlanta next.
I see. Yeah,
there you go, Tim. There's the correction. There we go.
They're looking down at the barrel of 0-3 at this point. The score of the game I heard was Eagles up 7-6 in a barn burner there. Monday Night Football must love the offensive explosive fireworks from both of those teams, man. The ratings must absolutely suck for that game. Let's go out to Bron. What's up, Bucs Nation? No one picked us for the win, but once again, Bucs win. Let's heal up, get ready for next week. Let's get better in the red zone. That's a must win in a big game. The defense stood up. All great wins. Go Bucs. Go Bucs.
How about them Bucs,
go
baby?
Bucs. Go Bucs. Love it. All right, so we'll continue to read the comments. What's going on, Pete? You know I'm right. Thank you for tuning in. Let's go out to Jim. I told you all, 12 wins. We look good this week against a tough team. Toughest games on the schedule are the Chiefs, who should be 1-1. And then at home against the 49ers, who are 1-1. I get it, it's early, and I said this in my monologue. A lot of people will say it's too early to get excited, but really, is it too early to get excited about this team with the injuries that they've had and knowing that once they get some of these players back, they're going to be that much better? And then you look at their schedule, going back to it, I mean, the Bucs, they look like one of the top teams in the NFC right now. Again, I get it's early, it's 2 games in, but they look good.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this is a team that's been under the radar all summer. Nobody's been talking about them. Everybody's been talking Atlanta. Everybody's been talking Green Bay, all these teams. If this team, especially on offense, if they can stay healthy, and again, I think the Bucs offensively were compromised because obviously they had to, after the middle of the second quarter, they realized you had to give school help every play because Hutchinson was wrecking the game. But yeah, I mean, I think, yesterday was a little bit of a compromised game plan because of that injury. But man, if they stay healthy, semi-healthy, and I don't know, did Bowles give an update on Vita Vea today? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, the update is a grade 2 MCL sprain.
Probably a couple weeks, probably.
Well, it's day to day, so they have not ruled out him playing in that game. Let me ask you this, because somebody mentioned this today, Webhead. Should the Bucs rest Avea to get ready for an Eagles team? Or if he is healthy, you trust the Bucs organization and run with him?
If he has an MCL sprain, he ain't healthy. You definitely need to, with as much tonnage as getting put on those joints, you need to rest him, even if it's a couple weeks. I mean, that's a guy you got to have for the long term. He's such a force, obviously, in the middle. You're already missing Cansey. Sit him down. Denver's a game you can probably win without him. Even Philadelphia, if you were to go 3-1 in the first, even if you were to lose that Philadelphia game, which there's no guarantee they would lose that game. I think they could beat Philadelphia. No, you sufficiently rest Vita Vea. There's, in my view.
Yeah, it's a MCL sprain, and again, this is what and I'll go back to the 2-shot here. This is what Todd Bowles had to say. He said he didn't rule out the veteran. Instead, he said Vea is simply day-to-day. Vea has an MCL sprain, grade 2. He's day-to-day, but not ruled out. So we'll see. We'll see if he plays. That's a big loss. But again, young guys stepping up. Logan Hall coming in. You're not sure if he's going to play. He steps up. So, and again,
Golston played a lot yesterday. You saw a lot of Golston in the game.
Yeah.
If you could hold out Vea even to the week 5, that Thursday night in Atlanta, that 2.5, which gives them 2.5 full weeks, I would do. I mean, if you can, I would do that. I mean,
okay. All right. I say trust the organization. If they think he's healthy, you play him. If he's not, then yeah, you sit him. And your guys got to step up. And look, I get it. Denver's not really good right now. Bo Nix doesn't look good. He looks like a rookie quarterback. By the way, are you surprised by this? Because you look around the league. Jaden Daniels had some success, but not overwhelming success. Caleb Williams looked like Justin Fields last night. Let's just put it out there. Couldn't read a defense. That offensive line was god-awful. Bo Nix has not looked good. Are you surprised with all the hype and all the conjecture about this being one of the best quarterback classes of all time that it has been absolutely a dud?
Haven't thrown a touchdown pass yet amongst them all combined. Not one touchdown pass.
Here we go for that. No touchdowns. Way to go. All right. But of course, Jaden Daniels scored 2 against the Bucs there with rushing. Yes.
But, I mean, it's welcome to big boy football. You're not playing against Stanford. You're not playing against Vanderbilt. You're not playing against Washington State where guys are wide open. You got all day to throw the ball. This is professional defense. And I'll give Nix a little bit of a break only because he's played 2 pretty good defenses on the road at Seattle and a tremendous defense in Pittsburgh. But I mean, Caleb Williams and offensive line issues, but Williams has missed some throws that you can't miss when he's had time. Williams has got to play more from the pocket and be a little more under control. The first 2 drives he played really good in the game last night, but then he got to start rolling around and scrambling. His accuracy is just not where it needs to be, and that's going to be an issue. And Jaden Daniels doesn't have a lot of weapons to throw to in Washington, I don't think. So, but yeah, surprised and welcome to the NFL, boys.
Yeah, welcome to the NFL. And somebody should have told Mayonnaise Boy there, who, by the way, if you don't know who that is.
Will Levis, right.
Anybody, first and foremost, you lose when you put mayonnaise and coffee. It doesn't make any sense at all. It's stupid. In fact,
This guy sucks.
and that's the reason why he's sucking right now. I mean, it's one of the many reasons why he's sucking right now for the Titans. Of course, turning over the ball, the coach getting in his face. Was that too much? Because
no, he deserved every bit of that.
You
imagine what Bruce Arians would have said to that guy? John Gruden would have said to that guy? You deserve every bit of what he got. That's 2 weeks in a row that he's basically lost the game. If they kick a field goal there, they probably beat the Jets. They probably win. Their defense has been tremendous. They kills them last week in Chicago, kills them this week at home against the Jets. It's just, if they had a comparable backup, they probably, I don't know if they make the move, but I mean, no, he deserved every bit of what he got.
Yeah.
And I applaud Callahan for doing it.
Yeah. All right. We'll get back to the Bucs in a moment. One more question here.
Give me a Bryce Young thought, Peter Blake.
It's disaster right now. I mean, I don't know what you do. I mean, first, you hinder the kid because he's going into a second offensive system. What do we know about rookie quarterbacks or young quarterbacks? If you continue to screw with changing up systems year after year, changing coaches and personalities and all this other stuff, it screws with his development. But he looks absolutely god-awful. He looks like he never played at Alabama. He looks like a midget out there. A micro midget quarterback, and it looks that much worse when you see CJ Stroud excelling the way he is with the Houston Texans. I don't know what the solution is, but obviously they do, and the owner does, and Dave Canales does, who walked into a terrible situation, which, by the way, you already got called to the principal's office, a.k.a. the idiot owner who decided to throw drinks on fans. By the way, that's really going to draw a lot of fans to your stadium there to watch that god-awful product that you got. You probably should give away free tickets. People would give them back. But he's
I got one for you.
Yes.
What do you think of this? If you're the Miami Dolphins, do you trade a 3rd-round pick for Bryce Young? Give him about a month to get ready with that weaponry around him, the confidence that Mike McDaniel would instill in him from if you're the Miami Dolphins with the Tua's uncertain future, you'd have 2 more years of a rookie contract deal to even as an insurance policy at worst. But let's say Tua can't come back and play or doesn't want to play. If I'm the Miami Dolphins, here's a 3rd-round pick. Send again, don't know what Carolina's thinking here about giving up on them.
Nobody knows what Carolina's thinking. They're looking to fire their coach already. I mean,
they're not firing Dave Canales. They're not doing that.
When they brought Canales to the office, to the owner's office to have a talk, do not be surprised if this guy gets canned before that. I mean, this guy is just giving away money. I mean, he's like Oprah Winfrey. You get a contract, you get a contract, you get a contract, and you don't have to get any wins. You just get free money at this point.
He can't fire him because nobody would take that job if he did. You cannot fire 4 coaches in the matter of 18 months, 20, whatever, it's 2 years. Nobody will come take that job. Canales will get at least 2 years in Carolina. That you can book that.
I don't know. We'll see. But I tell you right now, it's not working out. Andy Dalton, does that move the needle for you? Is he going to win anything with that roster? It's god awful. I mean, it doesn't work. It does not work. Adam Thielen was trying to protect his quarterback and talk for his quarterback, but he's not good. I mean, what did he have? Like 18 passes completed yesterday for a total of like 89 yards or 84 yards. It's awful.
Dalton, here's what Dalton will bring. Dalton will bring a little professionalism. He'll be able to remember Canales' offense in Tampa. It didn't go until probably week 7, week 8, where it really got clicking a little. It took a little while. So I don't know if Dave needs to dumb it down a little bit to some degree.
Yes,
Dalton
will correct myself. 84 yards. So he was 18 for 28, 84 yards. That's awful.
He's lost his confidence. I mean, it's clear Bryce Young has totally lost his confidence mentally. And that's a big part of that position. You gotta have some swagger and be willing to throw a ball in there when the guy's half open, and you can just tell everything's a check down. The quick screen. I mean, he has 0 confidence. Their offensive line's not very good.
He's like Mike Glennon all over again. He's checking it down 5 yards to the running back.
They don't have much help on the outside. Deontay Johnson's okay. Thielen's no better than a number 3. He shouldn't be a number 2 in there. The offensive line's not very good, which means not a good running game. I'm not going to put all this on Bryce Young. Obviously, he is struggling mentally, and he's down. Confidence wise, it's down. It'll be interesting to see what they do here. If there's any rumblings about a potential trade, if I'm the Miami Dolphins, I give him a 3rd-round pick all day and take my chances as the backup for Tua. And again, you could have him ready to play probably in a month. And again, the Dolphins are going to have a good team. I think a guy like Bryce Young in a Miami system could be a much different result.
Might be. And again, it comes down to confidence. It also comes down to protection. I wouldn't put you behind that offensive line. I don't know what's worse offensive line, because Tua, once again, a concussion situation. What is it? His 4th concussion that we know of, because he may have suffered in high school and college, those concussions. But it's just a bad scene, right? And you got to get down. You got to slide. You can't put your head in the way. He collides with DeMar Hamlin there. It's a scary situation. In your opinion, there's reports out there that Tua may come back. I feel like the Miami Dolphins should step in. I feel like the National Football League should step in and say, listen, young man, it's time to protect your life.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Listen, Jason, if you
sit him down, put him on IR for 6 to 8 weeks minimum. Okay. I don't think you're going to see him for 6 to 8 weeks minimum. At the end of 8 weeks, you got to let the guy make his own decision. I mean, you say what you want, everybody's a grown man. There's plenty of other guys in that league that have suffered a lot of concussions that we don't hear about as much. You got to let the guy make his own decision. I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm sure there's something in his contractually in his contract related to the concussions that we probably don't know about. Yeah. No, but if in 6 to 8 weeks, whatever it is, if he says, you know what, I'm play me, you got to put him in the game. Now he's got to be smarter, because that was all on him. That had nothing to do with anybody but Tua for not getting down. There was no business for him to do what he did on that run, dive at the DB's ankles. You're not going to get hit. If you're running with the ball, dive at the DB's ankles. They're going to be there to protect themselves. They're not going to look to hit you, but you cannot try to run through a guy's chest. I don't care if it's a DB, the littlest guy on the team. You can't do that stuff.
You can't do that stuff. We're on with Jason Powers, Powers on Sports Podcast, Spectrum Sports 360, the superstar himself, back on the evolution of sports talk television. We're going to do this every Monday. I'm your host, Peter Blake. Let's go back out to the comments again. Open phone lines, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Kenny says Bucs need line depth. Let's talk about that. Good comment by Kenny, but listen, you're down to what you have at the end of the day. Luke Gedeke, getting him back, but are you disappointed that the Bucs as an offense didn't do more adjustments early in the game? They did it later in the game. Are you surprised that there weren't more adjustments by this offense against Aiden Hutchinson, knowing what he can do to take over games? He did kind of the same thing, not have 5 sacks, but try to take over the game last year in that divisional playoff game.
Yesterday was the day where you had to roll every bit of pass protection to Justin School's side. Leave Wirfs one-on-one every single play, and the other 4 guys have got to slide the protection to the right. I know Detroit was trying to overload the left side of the Bucs offensive line to create the one-on-one, but you have to, and if they do that, you have to chip them if you're the running back or tight end over there. If you're Mayfield, you have to audible to get out of those kind of plays, but you cannot, after the second sack, you cannot continue to leave Justin School one-on-one with Aiden Hutchinson. That's just a recipe for disaster, and you saw what happened.
Yeah, you saw what happened. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the Evolution with yours truly, along with Jason Powers.
This is Eric. What's going on, Peter?
What's going on, Eric? Yeah, absolutely. Go Bucs. Yes.
Go Bucs.
Bucs, baby.
Yes, go Bucs.
Big win.
Yes,
Big win.
absolutely. Yes.
Big emotional win, after the Lions getting us last year in that creamsicle game in the playoff game.
Let me ask you this, Eric, and I'll ask Jason this. Was this one of the most important wins they've had here in the last 5 years? Eric, you go first, and Jason, you go ahead.
Yeah, T-Crash said that that was the biggest win since the Super Bowl. I can probably agree with that. That was almost 5 years ago.
I mean, Jason, do you agree with that? I mean, is that one of the most important? I mean, I think Philadelphia was an important victory there because Todd Bowles finally picks up a playoff win there. That's definitely important. But was this one of the most important
regular season wins? Season road win, humongous the last couple of years. Obviously, the game they won at Green Bay last year was a good one. But to me, that was a statement game to the NFC, like, this team's for real. We're going to be here, and it's also going to potentially be a tiebreaker kind of game with Detroit, if us and Detroit are in it at the end for potentially a 1 or 2 seed in a home game. So I think huge, again, just a statement when everybody thought Detroit's a really good team. And, you could say they dominated part of the game, and I wouldn't say that, but they were probably the better team for a little bit more of the game than the Bucs were. But a huge win, that it was a defensive effort that won the game. It's not like we outscored them 38-35. The defense, which has not been great the last couple of years, has stepped up, and you've seen Todd Bowles can still call a good defensive game.
Absolutely, Eric.
Yeah.
And Jason. Yeah. What else?
I just hope we can get healthy.
Eric, were you disappointed in the inability to run the ball yesterday, Eric?
Yeah, I think that was
they struggled to run the ball, man. Again, that part of that is probably Gedeke too. But how are you concerned about that?
Good question.
Broncos don't have a really good defense, so I'm hoping Rashad White we can get 80, 90 yards rushing. Maybe Bucket can get some big runs in there. Rashad White find the hole, be a little more patient.
Okay. So you're not worried about that. You go off the pass game there versus the Commanders where you rush for over 100. So there's no concern with this running game at this point.
A little bit, but I think we'll be all right.
Okay. Will you play Vea?
Losing Gedeke, that was huge.
Would you play Vea, or would you rest him?
Back in 2021, he didn't practice all week, and he was close. He even worked out before the game. I'll probably ride on the side of caution.
Okay,
Peter, they're 2-0. Why would you play him here? You're 2-0. You don't want a 80% Vea, and then he re-injures himself worse, and he's out 8-10 weeks. Let the
Yeah.
guy sit for a couple weeks. You're in a great spot division-wise. Home game against a team that you should beat even without him. No way you play him, I don't think.
How about Canty? You think Canty plays this week, or you think they hold him till Philly?
Let me go out to you, Jason. Are you concerned about that? Because he doesn't hurt the same cap, but it is the same injury. Once again, it could be becoming a lingering thing. Are you concerned about Kalijah Cansey and his injury history already, and of course his effectiveness? Because you need him. The availability is, of course, the best ability.
Calf injuries are always tricky. They don't heal fast. Those are typically 4 or 5 week injuries. I hate to say it. Strains, if you've ever had a calf strain, it hurts. I mean, you can't push off. It's hard to walk, much less be as agile and as powerful as they need to be and move and run and all that. He's probably gonna be out. I'm guessing he's probably gonna be out till after the Atlanta game would be my guess. But those calf injuries are not 1 and 2 week deals. Those are typically 4 or 5 week deals with calves. So I wouldn't expect to see him, but yeah, it's problematic. He's now injured both calves, so you worry about that, because the other part of a calf injury is if you come back too soon. 1, the likelihood is you're going to hurt your calf again, but 2, the extra tension that puts on your Achilles and your knees. Yeah, so you don't want to, the old Kevin Durant injury. You got to be very careful there. Yeah, you don't want to lose the guy for the year, and then obviously that derails everything you've invested. So let the guy sit. Again, you got even if you get through the Atlanta game 3-2 through the Atlanta game, and he's back for week 6, and you got Vea back, that's a great spot to be in, I think, at worst.
Definitely a great
Winfield.
spot to be in. Yeah, well, Winfield Jr., that's the other injury there.
At least another week, I'm hearing.
Yeah, at least, and I'd definitely not take a chance on that, because talk is that's a high ankle sprain, and we know that Yaya Diaby had to have the rest for like 5 to 6 weeks.
And you've seen guys that have produced. Izzian's played well. Tyke Smith has played well. You got Jordan Whitehead. You see, McCollum still. I mean, it's not like you're just depleted there. You've got guys that have played a lot of snaps, which I like.
Yeah, but the difference is you're already depleted. You're already down with Vea and Kalijah Cansey. I understand that point. You have to have the guys step up.
Go score 30 then. Go put up 30 against Philly and Denver, and it ain't going to – I'm serious. I'm being serious.
Right.
You go score 30, and it probably won't matter both games.
Okay. Well, Saquon Barkley is a tough matchup. So if you don't play him this week, hopefully you have Vea versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Eric, appreciate the call. As always, use that second call if you want to, my friend. All right?
Ooh, yeah. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense.
That's what I'm talking about.
There you go,
getting
Eric.
it. He's getting it. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391.
By the way.
Yes.
Your guy's still killing us, by the way.
Who's that?
Your boy Camarda. Terrible punt. 2 terrible punts at the end there.
Yeah. I don't know what to say, man. He performed well last year. We talked about it. And for some reason, it's either the preseason, it's in his head. We know
His mechanics are bad. His mechanics are bad.
Go ahead and expound on that. What do you think? Because it's a punting situation, but it's an important situation because if you're not getting those punts, then of course you don't have that fill position. So Jason Powers being a kicker, if you don't know his history with the Florida State Seminoles there, go ahead first and foremost, explain that history with the Florida State Seminoles, and also expound on what you're talking about when it comes to Jake Camarda.
Well, I was fortunate enough I got to play both. I kicked and punted in college, so this is something I'm very familiar with and understand and can see flaws on TV and stuff. He's just not mechanically very sound right now. His drop is not very good. I don't think his footwork is great. And it's just, it's something you gotta work through. And I don't know what kind of coaching he's getting there in the building, if any at all, to help him. That's a part of it too. That's the one thing I've always said for NFL teams. It blows my mind that as important as kicking and punting are and field position and all that all teams, the Bucs included, have not had a designated guy who is a kicking and punting only specialist, a guy that knows how to coach that position. We got defensive end coaches, we got safety coaches, we got 18 quality control coaches. How about a special teams kicking coach who can coach that and see that on a day-to-day basis? It just surprised me that the Bucs and others around the league don't invest money into that, because that's such an important thing. And again, you saw what the Giants did. The Giants made a fatal mistake yesterday, didn't have Graham Gano, and it killed them. The Bucs, I mean, you saw that the Bucs, again, Kamara just has not punted well through the preseason. It's not like it's a 1 week deal. He's been struggling for probably 6-7 weeks now, and it needs to get better.
It does. It definitely needs to get better. And if it doesn't get better, you know that the Bucs will make some changes. And it's already pissed off Todd Bowles. We saw that a couple of weeks ago on that fourth preseason game and bringing in a punter for competition. So we'll see how that all plays out. Speaking of quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield yesterday, not necessarily the best statistics, but when you need him to get a critical run, he's able to do that. Juke somebody out of their jock there with the running play there for 11 yards. And then the very next play goes in for the dive for the end zone there. I mean, talk about him. Have you changed your mind yet on Baker Mayfield, Jason Powers?
I never had a terrible opinion of Baker Mayfield. I just said I want to see it for another year. Okay. And I'll give him credit. Through 2 games, he's doing it. Yeah. The interception was, I don't know if it looked like that might have been a route problem because both Godwin and Evans were right there in the same area where that throw got picked off. So that was probably more of a route issue. And again, you don't probably need to throw the ball, but I think somebody was in the wrong spot there from a route perspective. He's playing great. What I love about Baker is his pocket awareness has been really good. He's scrambling, not just a run, but you saw the couple scrambles, and he hit Godwin on the 3rd down play for a nice first down conversion. So he's not always looking to run, but he's picking his spots, and his scrambling ability has been really good as far as his pocket awareness, and he's not taking hits either, getting down, sliding, getting out of bounds, and living to play another day. So keep it up, Baker. Great throw to Godwin on the touchdown. But yeah, nothing but kudos for Baker Mayfield through 2 games.
What do you think it is? Is it the maturity level? Is it him settling down? That's been talked about in the offseason. Is it the fact that now he believes an organization believes in him and they know what to expect? They paid him, $100 million there with the contract extension. They have the weapons. You have a system. What is it, in your opinion, that has kind of shown why Baker Mayfield was a number 1 overall pick in 2017 and now he's playing like it?
He's playing with calmness. He's not playing wild and he's moving around when he needs to, but he's playing with calm. He's hitting the open. I mean, a lot of these plays are designed to get the ball out quick, and he's taking his 3 steps, throwing the out route, hitting his 3 steps, throwing the ball to the slot. He's not trying to be a hero and thinking he can outrun everybody and out athlete everybody, which he can't. So that's, and I think the stability, knowing somebody wants him, knowing somebody appreciates him. The system obviously has changed. It's not the same system, so you can't make that argument. It's a new offensive system from last year. But again, they're doing things that he's good at. Cohen's, he's good on little half rollouts. He's good at the, the misdirection stuff. So those are the things I like that he's doing. And he's improved his accuracy. Say what you want. He's improved his accuracy. He's hitting the gimme throws that you got to make in the NFL, and he's not making the fatal mistakes. Take the 7-yard gain. We don't need to throw the 18-yard gain if the 7-yard gain is wide open. Let the receivers do some work after the catch.
From what you saw tonight with Kirk Cousins, do you think this situation will improve with the Atlanta Falcons going forward? Because they, that line looked bad against the Steelers. I'm not sure how they look tonight. I should have the game on against the Eagles. Do you think that situation improves? And once again, does it show that national media overhyped this team with Cousins not necessarily being fully healthy? And then on top of it, having the opportunity to take an offensive lineman at number 8, instead you take the quarterback of the future when you could have improved the line around him.
That decision to take the quarterback at number 8 is looking better and better the way Kirk Cousins is playing, right?
Well, and then, but then again, you spent $180 million.
But I agree.
Lineman.
But you and I talked over the summer. Were we ever sure he was fully going to be healthy this year?
So
Usually it's the second year after a catastrophic injury like that the guy gets his strength back and his swerve and his swagger. I think this is just one of those years where he's going to be tentative all year. Not a great offensive line. I mean, that pick is looking better and better to me if you're the Atlanta Falcons, because you could go to Michael Penix in week 5 or week 6, something like that. If you get off to a terrible start, you could probably still trade Kirk Cousins in the offseason. Somebody would take him for a 1 year. He's got 2 years guaranteed money, basically. Somebody in the league would take him for a year, knowing there's only 1 more year guaranteed money. If you had to unload Kirk Cousins at the end of the year, I'm sure of that. Somebody would take him for a 1 year kind of deal. It's not the worst situation in the world if the Atlanta Falcons, but yeah, he does not look very confident. And the decision not to play Kirk Cousins in the preseason by Raheem Morris is really coming back to roost, because you have to play these guys in the preseason, I think, a little bit to get some of the rust off.
And not only is the offensive line bad, but he doesn't have the mobility. And again, I don't know what he's doing tonight, but if the score indicates anything, it's not much. And even though you put a quarterback back there that has shown that he can make all the throws at the end of the day, he's not fully healthy in the offensive line situation. It doesn't help. And then on top of it, you have
it's a new system now, too.
Right.
Now
that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, people going, oh, this is a NFC South champion. This is they could be the second seed. Like, I heard all this nonsense, and I'm like, what are you talking about? You have a bad offensive line. You're putting a quarterback that's not fully healthy. I get it. He has weapons, but you have to block up front. And yes, you could draft the future quarterback. You can do that. Penix is talented, but you could have also helped your quarterback out by getting an offensive lineman at number 8. Oba phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's continue to read these comments with Jason Powers. Powers on Sports Podcast, Spectrum Sports 360. What's up, Peter? Says Gerald. What's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Still, the national pundits are saying Detroit outplayed us. They say the Lions choked and didn't even say how the Bucs shut them down in the red zone. I mean, that's what it came down to also. 1 for 7 in the red zone, correct? 1 for 7 in the red zone. That's not going to win many games. It's just not going to. And once again, hats off to that Todd Bowles-led defense.
He did. And the Bucs got a little help yesterday. Dan Campbell botched the end of the first half, which was a sure 3 points. Who knows how that changes, how the second half plays out. Obviously that would have potentially changed how the strategy of the last 7-8 minutes went. But yeah, give the Bucs credit. They realized that Goff, they dropped. You notice they dropped in coverage a bunch. They didn't blitz a whole lot. They didn't want to have St. Brown and Jamison Williams in man-to-man coverage. When you get to the red zone, the more guys you can drop in coverage, the better, because it's just a tighter windows and there's less field to cover. So I think that was a great strategy by Todd Bowles. Once you got to about the 15, 18-yard line, squeeze down the field a little bit. And again, the Bucs, most importantly, when the guys caught the 5- and 6-yard balls, they made the tackle immediately. They didn't miss tackles and allow the extra yardage after the catch.
All right, good stuff there. Let's go out to Gianni Pirelli. I don't know what that is, but thanks a lot for tuning in.
Yeah, that's an Italian boy, man. Gianni,
okay. All right. Christopher Cole says, all I have to say is stats are for losers, and you look at those final numbers. Once again, the Lions ruled the day, but the scoreboard is the only thing that matters. Sitton says, go Bucs. Go Bucs.
Bucs, baby.
Go Bucs. Love that. All right, let's go out to Albert here. Awesome job with the battle. The better team won without top players. Thumbs up. Go Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Carl. Bend but don't break. That's exactly what they did. Todd Bowles' defense once again. They don't have their main players, and guys are able to step up, and they're able they have the one big play there, the 50 yards. Jamel. Yeah. But besides that, I didn't see anything. I mean, the long run there on 4th down, that could have came back to haunt him with Jamison Williams putting a hell of a block on Levante David. Where the hell did that come from? Wide receiver being that physical. Let's see here. Ben Parents.
By the way, can we get a sellout at Raymond James on Sunday? I know Denver's not very good, but this Bucs team has shown this community they're legit. This is going to be a good team. Let's get Raymond James sold out. I know you're going to be up there eating your 3 plates up in the press box.
Well, I'll be 4 plates now. And the sage of Tampa Bay, Ira Kaufman, was telling me that he was going to put it in his column for Joe Bucs fan. He was counting it right when I came in. And here's the thing. Just you put the picture out there. And by the way, you're more than welcome to come out to the What the Buck tailgate. I'm out there in the hot sun. My idiot son of a gun decides to not go into the tent. The sun is blaring down. I'm melting. My phone is actually becoming a hot spot. So it goes offline there because I'm using it as a hot spot. Everything is burning up. The next time I'm going into a tent, I finally get in there. I get in there about 4:25. I'm sweating buckets. So the last time, by the way, I'm wearing suit pants.
Dude, what are you doing? Shorts and a golf shirt, bro.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
Golf shorts and a polo, bro.
Listen,
Bro,
if
you're
you
not going on an NFL countdown after post game with Jeff Darlington, bro. Just please. You can adjust the camera to show you from the waist up. You're polo only.
Yes.
Why would you wear a suit and tie when it's 110 degrees, baking like a sardine out there? Please.
I used to do that a couple of years ago. I have pictures of that. I don't know how it's
Peter.
possible. I don't know how,
it.
because you're trying to impress the Bucs at that time. You're trying to impress everybody. And
Ira's walking in a freaking golf shirt and khaki pants, bro. Come on.
I know. And that's finally I get in there. I get my salad. He's like, welcome, buddy. You got some sun, because my face is like a Red Lobster there. I mean, we're not eating at Red Lobster. The food is a lot better, but I look like a Red Lobster with how red my face is. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm eating salad right now. So I get the salad. About 10 to 15 minutes later, I'm so hungry and I'm so thirsty because I've been out in the sun there. And by the way, you're invited. What the Buck tailgate there right across the street if you want to come by.
Where's it at?
Right across the street from Raymond James Stadium.
Like, that's 4 different corners. What corner are you on? I don't know.
I think it's like on Himes there, I believe.
Is it Himes near the Bucs practice facility? Where's it at?
It is
or is it further up towards?
It's on the right side of the entrance of Raymond James Stadium. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but there's 4 entrances, Peter. There's 4 different sides to the stadium. I need to know,
I'll have to send you the address.
Okay, yeah, do that.
I'll send you the address. Anyway,
I'm not like you, bro. I don't get the press passes and the credentials. The poor man over here, the common man over here, we got to pay for tickets, and I ain't paying for a ticket.
Listen, you got Spectrum Sports 360, all right? You get a chance to go in there and debate.
I don't. I wish I don't get a credential for that, please. I wish.
You should. You deserve it. And of course,
I know I do, right?
The No Quarter Given podcast, which is on a little bit of a break there from the Buck Power podcast network, so we'll get that going again. But getting back to it, he's monitoring me, and I'm eating every 10 to 15 minutes. So
they got a nice spread at the Bucs, right? Much better than USF. Much better than USF.
Listen, I love USF. I love the people out there. But the bag, the brown
box lunch with the ham sandwich.
Yeah. You get 2 or 3 of those. Now you got prime rib. You got white rice. You
noodles. You got some feta Alfredo.
Yes, you got all kinds of stuff out there.
Desserts, cookies, ice cream, cake,
self-serve ice cream, bananas Foster at halftime. I mean, it's like a playground for me. I don't eat on purpose because I know I'm going to get those 4 to 5 plates. And Ira Coppin, the sage of Tampa Bay, is like, I'm writing this down. I'm documenting this. I'm going home to document it. This is a usual thing. This is only going to get worse at this point. Thank you very much to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for feeding yours truly. Yes. Let's see here. All right. So Ben says 7-3 Eagles. Tim 7-3. Tim Philly. Dave 7-3 Eagles. Thanks for that. Bucks for life. Absolutely.
It's actually 15-10 Falcons right now. By the way.
Wow. 15-10. What quarter is that?
End of the third. Last minute of the third quarter.
Wow. Are you surprised by that?
I figured it'd be a good game. No AJ Brown tonight. Philly's defense ain't great. But yeah, I think it'll be good.
AJ Brown is missing in action again. Saquon Barkley, the game he had, did he get hurt yet?
No, he's playing. He's
okay. All right.
60 yards on 12 carries.
Okay. All right. Baker is baking. Let's go Bucks. Let's go Bucks. Absolutely.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Let's go out to Cody. It's a Pirates life for me. Fire the cannons. Thank you. Alan McTavish says, Peter, do you need Uber Eats to bring you dollar wings? By the way, Fergs had dollar wing night. One of these days, guys, I'm sorry to tell you, I'm going to have to skip out on Monday night show just because of that dollar wing special. Dollar wings, Jason Powers.
At Fergs?
Yes.
You're going to drive all the way to St. Pete from where you live to go for dollar wings?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to get in the Tesla. I'll come and pick you up. Me and you will go together.
There you go.
Harry will all go together. And maybe I'll throw some shekels your way. We'll do that. You never rode in a Tesla before, have you?
You have a Tesla?
Yeah, I have a Tesla. Yeah,
do you really?
I'm driving Uber. Yeah, I'm driving Uber. Yeah,
you have a white Tesla, really?
Yes, I'm driving a white Tesla around town. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, look. Yeah, I need to get in your business, Peter Blake. Jeez.
Yeah. Peter G. Mac picked the Bucks. Okay, so he picked the Bucks. All right, so we'll give him that.
By the way, the Bucks on the money line yesterday plus 290.
Wow.
to win the game outright. Plus 290.
I wish I would have bet that. I should have taken Harry's advice. Devin White inactive tonight. We talked about that. Allen might be able to get Ray Kennedy to drop them off. We need to get Ray down here to drop them. Somebody needs to drop me off $1 wings here. It's late, though. It's 10:19. So I don't want to have that acid reflux problem I always have.
You don't want to be on the toilet at 2 You don't want to be on the toilet at 2 a.m.
Oh, it's been disastrous. It's really like 6 o'clock in the morning. Don't guys, PSA here. Let me go full screen. Do not eat chocolate ice cream before bed, especially at 12:30 or 1 o'clock. Because that's what will happen. If you do that, you will have an acid reflux situation. You will wake up at 6:30, and then you will have to get on the phone and talk to people who don't want to talk to you, being sicker than a dog. So don't do that. There's your PSA for the night as we talk about all
kinds of toilet paper.
Well, not only that, it's just awful, man. You feel like your whole chest is going to explode. It felt like
don't eat after about 9 o'clock, man.
I can't do it. If I'm out driving, I'm going to stay up all night long. I'm definitely going to do it.
Tesla, bro. When did the Tesla come into the fleet?
Yeah.
Jeez, Peter Blake.
Yes, absolutely. O-line needs more juice. Our secondary needs to tackle way better. Agree with that. Again, O-line beaten up. Secondary, I thought, tackled a lot better, especially in those points. Right. When it's 4th and 8, Jordan Whitehead making that play. Talk about Whitehead a little bit, really stepping up. I really like this signing when it happened, Jason Powers. What do you think of Whitehead's play yesterday?
No, but I mean, he's a veteran player. He knows what he's doing. He knows this defense inside and out, being in this defense before he went to the Jets. He's a perfect complement to Winfield. He's a perfect guy to nurture Izzian or whoever else is playing alongside of him. Great addition. Great job. I'd like to bring him back.
Yes, absolutely. Agree with that. I thought it was an under-the-radar move. I'm right. I haven't been following along with Devin White. What's been up with him? He lost his starting spot to Nakobe Dean. That's what's up with him. He's been as advertised.
This guy sucks.
Let's go out to Jeff Taylor. He's offering something or nothing at all. Stop sending this to all the members. You're like the spam king. No, I am on the sports web. Thank you very much for joining us here. And I have the permission to do that. So there you go.
Real quick, are you going to be at the Miami game Saturday night? I'm coming.
Yes, I'm going to be there. So
I'll be there in the press box.
Well, I'll be there with the press box too. The question is it going to be the brown box lunches? Because you remember what you said.
Not good.
All right, let's go out to the phone lines here. Let's go out to this guy.
Acknowledge me.
Let's go out to the sad Chicago Bear fan after Caleb Williams looked like Justin Fields last night. Roger Shue, the tribal troll.
I'm not sad at all, baby.
You sound like you're drunk.
Game number 2.
You sound like you're drunk, my friend.
Give the kid a chance.
Give the kid a chance. Give Peace a chance. Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, I'm not sports related, but I wanted to call with some breaking news. P. Diddy has just been arrested in New York City by the feds.
Whoa! Well, there you go. So P. Diddy,
all them sex slaves he has.
Well, again,
he's been running loose for a while, and they finally caught him, huh?
Listen, he always said in his songs, "Bad boy won't stop. We won't stop." He should have stopped. Okay.
Yeah, he should have stopped a long time ago, like 20 years ago.
Yes, it should have absolutely stopped. Not to make light of that, but that is a terrible situation, and
I'm glad to see he's arrested.
If he did some wrongdoing, then he needs to go to jail. Not pass go, not collect $200.
Exactly.
All right. So what else, Roger?
Great Buccaneer win, man.
Yeah, I know.
2-0.
I'm telling you, I'm absolutely telling you at this point. And I thought, a lot of people said, that it was one of the most important wins in the last couple of years here.
Was Mayfield getting sacked, 6 times by Hutchinson? I thought 5 you guys were done.
5 times. He got sacked 5 times there. So 5 times.
5 times.
Yes, WCW champion Booker T. Yes, Aiden Hutchinson definitely did his thing yesterday.
I actually might be jumping on the Bucs bandwagon as my second team.
Wow! Whoa! What's going on? Yes. P. Diddy's gone to jail and hell is frozen over because Roger's become a Bucs fan. Wow.
I said might. I'm still watching and I'm not quite sure yet.
Okay.
but it's looking really good.
Yeah, you're not saying Kyle Trask anymore. You're saying Baker Mayfield, Baker Mayfield, Baker Mayfield.
I'm still on the Trask train.
Well, you're going to lose that bet. The bet we put out there, the Bucs would have more wins than the Bears, and then on top of it, Baker Mayfield would have better numbers than Caleb Williams.
It's not over yet, baby. It's 2 games.
Well, Jason was just yawning, so he thinks your point is tired and worn out. So
it's only been 2 games.
All right, we'll see, Roger. What else?
That's it, man.
All right, man.
Great show.
Thank you.
And
appreciate you.
I will keep watching, and you guys finish off. Have a great rest of your night, gentlemen. And Peter,
yes,
go get those dollar wings in a Tesla, and don't get any barbecue sauce in a Tesla.
We don't get no barbecue. We don't get barbecue wings. So we talk about acid reflux. We get a mild with blue cheese and celery. There you go, kids. I eat vegetables. I eat salad too. We'll do that, my friend. We'll do that one Monday night. We'll have
I
to all
have
meet down
never
there.
in my life seen or heard you eat a salad. Unless I see pictures, it didn't happen.
Okay, well then that's what's going to happen on Sunday when I'm in the press box and I'm wearing my shorts and this black polo shirt, which, by the way, I need to update that. I need to get some new colors because the black is not necessarily good in the sun, just saying.
Yeah, you're going to be baking.
Baking. Hopefully the offense of the Bucs is baking with Baker Mayfield. But I will take pictures and send them to you, Tribal Troll. Appreciate the time, as always. Use that second call,
All
right?
man. Great show. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night.
Yep.
See you, Roger.
Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Dave says the Bucs were just more tough than the Lions yesterday. That's what I saw. Hutch had his day, but the Bucs just out-bullied them. Agree with that?
I wouldn't say out-bullied them. I mean, the Bucs did play a smart game. That was a very New England Patriots kind of game where maybe they get outgained. They made the situational plays when they had to. The interception, the open field tackles, just the little things in the game that you got to do. They finally started to help school on Hutchinson, which helped. They weren't great on offense, but they were good enough. And give Liam Cohen the credit. After the Baker scramble, then he comes right back with the quarterback draw, which is a great call there to get the go-ahead touchdown. That's what I love the most is they answered the Detroit touchdown with a touchdown of their own when Detroit took the lead.
Yep, absolutely. And I wonder if it was a call play or Baker wanted
that was a called play. That was a quarterback draw. All
right, let's go out to Dave here, 7-6. So we got the update there. In my opinion, the wide receivers ran into our defensive back on the first interception, says Christopher Cole. Dave says, come on, Eagles. Can't believe I typed that. I feel dirty. Ben Barrett, that's funny. Ben says, DBs came through. Absolutely. Space Windu, let's go. Let's go. They're on YouTube. Again, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. YouTube Super Chats are open and also Facebook Stars. And somebody did give Facebook Stars tonight. Eric says, evening, guys. You did call in. Thank you very much. Emotional win for me yesterday. My uncle passed away about 7.5 weeks ago, was a big Lions fan. My friend, hang in there. God bless you. I'm sorry about your loss. Eric says last time Vita had 2 MCL sprains. He missed a game back in 2021. Arian said he was really close to playing that week. Dave, Golston is an unsung player, not flashy, but a solid player. I'm glad he's still on the team. Agree with you on that. Dave, what about Dave benching Young in Carolina? We talked about that, how that's a complete disaster at this point. By the way, you think Tua should retire? Should he walk away? Because reports are there's no indication he's going to do that. Should he retire?
I don't think he's going to. I mean,
okay.
I think he's going to. I don't think you'll ever see him run again, to be honest with you. When he does play, I don't think you'll ever see him any kind of athletic run like that. I mean, that's something I think you will not see anymore. He's not going to retire, I don't think. It's going to take probably one more massive concussion for him to do that. I don't think he's going to do that. And the Dolphins can't make him do it. I mean, as much as we want to, the NFL can't make him do it. And by the way, Dave Canales took that job, screwing him taking that job because he knew no matter what happens, he's going to make $35 million.
Yeah, I mean,
if he gets fired in a year or two, he's making $35 million. That's why he took the job.
It's one of the 32 head coaching jobs.
Right.
You got to take it. Maybe It's not the best situation. Canales was told by the owner to bench Young. Weiler says, Adam says, I think it's great that the Saints and Bucs are both 2-0. Yep. So as long as the Bucs win the division, at the end of the division, you have NFL brass looking at both teams now.
That's the scary team.
Yes.
That's the scary team is New Orleans.
Really quick, we'll get back to New Orleans in a moment, but Adam sent Facebook stars, 100 stars. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Go.
Update. We updated that already. So, Dave.
By the way, the Eagles are at 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line of Atlanta, down 15-10. 9 minutes to go. 9 minutes to go.
Tua has 160 million reasons to come back. They should medical retire him, or else he is coming back. Dave says also Daniel should have pulled Tua out of that game. It was over. Why are you playing your starting quarterback? Poor coaching. Is that on?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right. We got
that concussion was 1,000% on Tua.
Okay. All right. Well, I think there's coaching also involved in that. And if he's in, why is he in the game in the first place? If the
game, the game was at the end in the third quarter.
Yeah.
They're still they're down 21. I get it, but they're still in the game.
Yeah, I see the point though. 21, you're down 21.
You're not taking them out of the game down 21 points.
Number 8's tackle towards the end of the game was my favorite part. Again, Savasier. Dennis, Adam. Okay, we got that. Dennis, yes, thank you, Space Windu. Please, yeah. Christopher Cole Bucs should have put an extra tackle in at tight end to help School. Let's go out to Dave. Okay, we got that. Thank you for the updates, guys. We have already updated that. Dave, thank you. Bucs will beat the Eagles. Dave, again, let's face it, Baker has matured. Happy that a team believes in him. He's comfortable. He's paying off for the Bucs. Thanks to the Browns and keeping Deshaun Watson. Absolutely. There we go. TJ Reeves, the media icon of the Buccaneer Radio Network, powers 100% of the money. Has to be to his decision. The NFL can't tell him to retire. Miami just gave up $45 million plus guaranteed for this year. Has another $125 guaranteed over the life of the deal. I don't know. I know how you feel about that. I get it. Both of you, both of the points, but you're probably right. The NFL won't step in. Miami won't step in. They'll leave it up to Tua. But you've had all these players and all this personnel tell him in so many words. It's almost. And
who's told him though? I've not heard anybody tell him to retire.
Well, you saw Mike McDaniel, what he had to say at the end of the game, right? He needs a quarterback for his family.
Well, I get that, but
I mean, and you have former Antonio Pierce, who's the coach of the Raiders.
You think Antonio Pierce would have retired if he was in that situation? No.
But see, you can gauge a different perspective as a former NFL football player, because we don't know what Pierce is going through right now with all those hits and all those. And I get it. They have a choice. They signed that contract. And of course the Dolphins extended him on that. I don't think he's not gonna retire for his own good. Of course, he wants to play because he wants to earn that money. And
the thing is, he's already gotten a big chunk of it, so that you could make the argument he probably got $40 million at signing. He could probably retire from a financial position to be just fine.
Yeah,
I mean, but just the competitiveness in the guy. He doesn't want to. I don't think he's going to walk away 4 years into a career. I mean, I just don't think he's going to do that.
Yeah, it's sad. He's 26 years old, but it reminds me of an old movie, Any Given Sunday, right? With Lawrence Taylor.
Yep.
And how he has to provide for his family and how he gets the $1 million.
But he's got plenty of money. It ain't about the money at this point. You just made $40 million.
Right. So
it's about the competitiveness. And remember, he came from a family, a tough upbringing. His father was very tough on him from a physicality. I mean, there were some reports that he kind of got abused, whipped, and things like that when he didn't have good games in high school. Yeah. I mean, he's not a soft kid. This guy's come from a tough upbringing in Hawaii with the dad. So that's part of it too, is the let down the family, and the family, that's part of it.
And anyway, we got TJ Reeves, the media icon. Anytime we can get him on, we got to get him on video with us. Thank you, TJ. Appreciate it. Coming back from Detroit there. Great show, gentlemen. Thank you, Roger. Appreciate that. Okay, we updated that. Did he just...
By the way, I need a Saquon Barkley touchdown to win my fantasy league tonight. I'm right on the edge.
Fantasy? Because I'll give you mine.
They're on the 1 yard line, by the way. Philly's on the 1 yard line. Can we just give a blast to Saquon?
Well, and listen, unless the offensive coordinator is Darren Bevel with that asinine call to not give the ball to Marshawn Lynch, you better give it to Barkley here, because if you don't, and you try to throw the ball at the goal line.
Touchdown Eagles. I don't know how they've scored, but
Barkley.
They've had the ball about 8.5 minutes, and they did not give the ball to Barkley, I don't think, for the touchdown.
Oh, no Saquon Barkley.
I don't think.
How many points are you down right now with your fantasy? And by the way, we care about your fantasy football team.
Touchdown, Jalen Hurts. Probably tush push.
Of course, tush
Yeah.
push. Yeah,
I need about 4 more points to win my fantasy game, and the touchdown of 6 would have clinched it. But so I'm in trouble.
Well, I'm already in trouble because I had Mike Evans go this week. He didn't do anything. I had Tyreek Hill. He didn't do anything. I had Jalen Waddle. He didn't do anything. Derrick Henry did something.
Oh, yeah.
Rashad White, he didn't do anything. Justin Herbert was okay, but guess what? Joe Burrow, who was on my bench, he did something, so it was a miss on me. And whatever happened to Mark Andrews, somebody has to tell me. It looks like he's washed up because he's done absolutely nothing too. So there you go. That's a whole team this week of suck.
2-point conversion good. 18-15 with 6:50 left in the game.
All right, so there you go. So the Eagles are up. Hopefully they can hold the lead and put the Atlanta Falcons out of their misery there as they are staring down the barrel of 0-2 and hopefully 0-3. So all the national media, analysts can shut the hell up when they talk about the Atlanta Falcons being so great and winning the NFC South just like that. All right.
And by the way, real quick, Barkley ran in the 2-point conversion, so that gets me a little closer, but I need another possession.
How close, Jason?
I'm down 2 points.
All right.
So I need about 20 more yards rushing. I 20 more yards rushing, so hopefully we get one more possession here.
All right. Florida State math there. Open phone line, 727-255.
Speaking of that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Again, music to my ears. Devin White riding the pine again for the Eagles. Get pine 45. Absolutely. You could probably ride his horse out of town because that's basically what's going to happen there if he continues to have the poor play. And we know that the poor attitude is going to accompany him in that locker room, and they're not going to put up with it. That's okay, Roger Shue. We don't need you. Come on now. You know I'm right. We definitely need him as a Bucs fan. We'll accept him. Dave says tush push Jason and 2 points there. All right. Speaking of the math being messed up. I need some solutions here, Jason Powers. We're both Florida State fans. JP Peterson, he went on a rant this morning.
You got to sit down, DJ.
Well, DJ ukulele with Tiny Tim. I'd rather hear Tiny Tim and the ukulele at this point than watch DJ U play another snap for Florida State football. I mean, it's absolutely atrocious.
Well, and that's what happens when you misevaluate, when you take a risk in the transfer portal. You know, but you say what you want. When you pay the guy 1 point whatever million they're paying him, and the guy was never great. He was a good quarterback, never great at Clemson or Oregon State. It's a drastic misevaluation by the coaching staff at Florida State. Is what they could have had potentially Cam Ward. He went to Miami.
Yep.
You could have let one of your in-house, recruited high school kids potentially. To me, when there's no competition for the job, and there was no competition for that job all off season, this is what you get.
Yeah, this is definitely what you get.
When he doesn't perform. He doesn't perform.
And they just look soft up front on both lines. Whether it's the offensive line, the defensive line, that started the very first game when you come out, you score, you get the 2-point conversion, you start feeling good about yourself. And Georgia Tech, in the quarterback, they're looking like the Tim Tebow, the ghost of Tim Tebow there, running through the offensive line, running through the defensive line where Florida State can't tackle. It's just bad all over the place. And Florida State just signed Mike Norvell to that extension.
They're not firing him. I mean, he's going to get another year. They're not firing him.
Okay.
But what I do think you're going to see, I think you're going to see a change in philosophy with the transfer portal. I don't think you're going to see FSU be as heavy-handed as they've been the last couple of years.
Yeah.
With that, because when you bring in guys that you don't really know, and they don't know these, I mean, you know what the film shows, but you don't know the heart, you don't know their mentality, you don't know their camaraderie as teammates. When you don't know those things, just like an NFL free agency, you're taking a big risk.
Yeah, you're taking a big risk, and it comes down to, I get it, it's about talent and, being a
But
prospect.
it's not all about talent. You
Right.
got to have some chemistry and some
Yes.
camaraderie and
Yes.
some working together as teammates. And when things don't go well, you can't just say, well, I'm the NIL guy. I got my $500,000 in the bank. You got to be willing to put in the hard work when it's needed. And they've just been outworked from start to finish in all these games.
All right, so let's move on to USF, and then I'll get you out of here because I know this has been a long segment, but appreciate the time here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Powers on Sports Podcast, Spectrum Sports 360. Mr. Jason Powers here on the Sports Web.
Tomorrow night. We're on Spectrum tomorrow night and Friday night.
Okay. Tomorrow night and Friday night, what time?
10:30, Spectrum Sports 360, Bay News 9 in Tampa, Orlando. I think it's My News 13 in Orlando. Those two markets, you can check us out. If you got Spectrum cable, check us out on the on your app on the phone. We're talking Florida Gators situation. What should the Gators do with Billy Napier? We're talking Jags and Dolphins, and all that stuff. So those are the topics the next couple of nights. But tomorrow night, 10:30, Spectrum Sports, Bay News 9 here in the Tampa Bay area.
Good stuff there, Jason Powers. And Jacksonville right now 0-2. They're not doing well. So there you go. And
Trevor Lawrence, is that guy a bust?
Boy, he earned that contract extension pretty quick, didn't he? Huh? It's always good.
Did he really earn it?
Not really. Doesn't look good right now on Jacksonville's part. But hey, they're throwing money all over the place. They're throwing money in the wind. All right. With that being said, USF.
Yep.
First and foremost, were you surprised that they were able to stay in that game versus Alabama? What did you think of their win the other night with Byron Brown going off, that offense going off for over 300 yards of rushing? And do they have a chance, as you're going to be there in the press box with yours truly, Amped Up Sports, Leo Haggerty, hopefully Harry the Greek, hopefully Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, Best of the Bay, we'll all be there eating our brown bagged or brown box lunches. Do they have an opportunity to beat Miami? Can they stay in this game with the Miami Hurricanes, in your opinion?
I do. I think they can. I worry about eventually when you run Byron Brown as much as they did, especially in the Alabama game. I worry about his ability to hang in there for the duration of the year, because I really think if USF could win this game against Miami, they've got a legitimate shot to be the Power 5 representative. They got Memphis at home, who we saw beat Florida State. Boise's already lost. I think there's a real opportunity. If USF can win this game against Miami, they got a real shot to be the Power 5 representative, because they've got a favorable schedule, and they've got the Memphis coming here. I think it's a humongous game. And again, if you're a USF Bulls fan in the Tampa area, I don't want to hear no more excuses. That place better be full. That place better be rocking. There's going to be a lot of Miami fans in the building too.
Yes.
There better be a huge USF contingent. You wanted that AD to go schedule good games. He's done that. It's time for you guys to show up.
Well, you're absolutely right. And Coach Golich said the other night on the post game, and we were going to have a post game conference there, but we interviewed him and other players. You better fill that joker up. And that's exactly what he wants the USF Bulls fans to do. And you kind of believe that there's definitely going to be some Miami Hurricane fans in the house, but definitely have that home field advantage if you're a USF Bulls fan and, of course, student. So
can the Bulls contain Cam Ward in the passing game? Ward's not a big runner, but boy, he's elusive and he can throw the ball. They've got some good wide receivers, a good offensive line. I worry a little bit about the USF defensive front seven against that offensive line, because Cristobal's done a really good job rebuilding that offensive line. And again, the elusiveness of Cam Ward in the passing game will be a real concern. But USF's going to have to score. They're not going to be able to score 16, 8, 20 points. This game, they're going to need to get over 30, I think, to beat Miami.
You're exactly right.
Passing game, too. Can they throw the ball? I need to see something in the passing game, too, because you're not going to run the ball for 300 yards against Miami, I don't think.
You're exactly right. And Brown started off 9-9, and it's all about getting him into a rhythm, getting those easy passes, giving him the confidence. And that's what I worry about with this kid, because I think he's got everything that you want, but the accuracy has to be there. The consistency to throw from the pocket has to be there in order for this offense to take that next step. With taking the next step or turning the page, how long does Billy Napier keep his job? Because I want to go back to one of our friends, Titus O'Neil of WWE. I talked to him on the JP.
He ain't my friend, by the way.
Well, you never talked to Titus before?
I've had a run-in with Titus. Titus ain't my guy. I ain't a no offense, but I ain't a Titus O'Neil fan at all.
Why?
I'll tell you off the air.
Okay.
I had a very shaky experience with one Titus O'Neil.
I am so sorry to hear that. Well, Titus said that he didn't feel like the fans would give Billy Napier enough, patience.
By the way, we got an update.
Yes.
The Falcons have just been stopped on 4th and 1 on their own 39-yard line, 5 minutes to go.
Whoa!
Philly takes over on downs.
Yeah.
Let's get Saquon one run for 20-yard run out of Saquon. Let's go.
Yes, let's go. I can't believe that we're actually rooting for Philadelphia versus Atlanta, but that's how much hatred we have for the whole hype by the media and, of course, for the Atlanta Falcons. So I would root for Philly over Atlanta, and I would root for you to get those couple yards there with Saquon getting that fantasy win, as I'm not going to pick it up this week. But Billy Napier, when does he get fired?
I think if he were to lose the Central Florida game, which is in 2 weeks, they have a bye week after that, I believe. I think he'll get fired after the Central Florida game if they lose to Central Florida. If not, I don't think it'll be till after their second bye, which is Texas, after the Texas game, I believe, early November. I don't think you want an interim coach in there for 7, 8, 9 games because they don't have anybody on their staff, first of all, that I don't think has been a head coach, and nowhere that's been a head coach like at a place like Florida. So I don't think you want an interim running that program for that long. I think you want an interim. I think the decision's been made by Scott Strickland, but I don't think he's going to fire him until a couple of games left in the year because one, you got to have a little bit of stability in the program, even though the guy's probably not going to be retained. So reports over the weekend from ESPN, Chris Lowe, who's a very reputable SEC guy, said they had a meeting over the weekend and they've got the money together to pay the buyout. So it sounds like all the wheels are in motion to do that. But I don't think they'll fire him until a couple of games left in the season, to be honest with you.
Does he deserve to be fired?
Oh yeah, he's not going to keep his job. Yeah, you can't lose. It's not that they're losing, but you can't get blown out like they're getting blown out. That's the problem that they're doing. You don't see a lot of player development. You don't see a lot of elite players there. You don't have any elite wide receivers. You don't have any elite defensive players that are of note. I just don't see, and I know he's only been there two plus years. This is year 3. I get it, but you got to show some player development and you got to show some spunk in Gainesville. Gainesville with Spurrier, Urban Meyer. You don't have to win it all, but you can't be getting blown out like they're getting blown out. That's just unacceptable to that fan base.
Well said. Let's go out to John here. Johnny Buck in the house. Good evening, guys. Love the show. Glad to be here. Absolutely glad to have you there. And dang, what a tackle, says Christopher Cole. So I'm not watching the game. I want to absolutely get off the show here a little bit early. And so I can watch the rest of this game. Hopefully Jason Powers wins. So
let me give you real quick. Let me give you a couple names for the Florida job.
Yes.
Lane Kiffin.
Okay.
With his Florida ties with Monty and all that stuff.
Sure.
And his flamboyance, that'd be a guy that the Florida fans would love because of his offensive play calling, his ability to get recruits, quarterbacks, things like that, skill players. Dabo Sweeney. If the Clemson situation doesn't improve much, I could see Dabo saying, I need a change of scenery here. I've been at Clemson long enough. That's another name. Now let me throw out the wild card here. You'll like this. John Gruden.
Wow, John Gruden. Okay. Well, I threw that name. I threw the name out there with Deion Sanders. And I think if the situation goes south with Colorado because of getting turned down by Florida State, I think he would definitely be interested in getting back to the state of Florida. This is his home state. He knows he can recruit. He was absolutely interested in that USF job. By the way, J.P. Peterson had it right, according to Bob the Love Sponge Show, who interviewed Deion, as Deion said that he was interested in the job. There were talk. He knows the state. He gets back at Florida State. He gets into the SEC. Is Deion Sanders a guy that could be a good fit for the Florida Gators?
I'm not sure how much he can coach. That's the problem I have with Deion.
Okay.
Offensive and defensive lines have been bad. You can't be recycling 75 new guys in the transfer portal. That's not a sustainable way to build a program at a place like Florida. I know he's got some glamour and the glitz and all that. I think you want a true football coach, offensive minded. Remember, he's not going to have his son as the quarterback. We don't know if he can he recruit a quarterback? We don't know that.
Right.
I mean, that's the part that would make me nervous. I don't think you can take that chance if you're Florida. If you could get Lane Kiffin, you need an offensive guy who can light up the scoreboard to get in Gainesville. That's what part of the fan base loves in this part of the world is offense, quarterback play, receivers, running, those kind of things. I think a guy like, again, Lane Kiffin, again, John Gruden, because I don't know if he can get an NFL job. I don't know with his issues off the field if a college would take a chance on that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you talk about a guy that could recruit. John Gruden could get some players here, buddy.
He definitely can. And I also will throw out this name. It's right underneath your nose. Florida knows him all too well. He walked away from the Gator program, Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer coming back to coach.
You talk about baggage.
Well, but he worked out with the Gators. He's able to recruit. He's won to a certain degree in the college ranks.
Oh, there's no doubt about the coaching part of it.
Yeah.
It's all the other nonsense. Tomorrow, FX, the Aaron Hernandez documentary is coming out.
Very good. Yes, it is.
And he knew all about that stuff at Florida. Aaron Hernandez was no choir boy in Gainesville. Forget about what he did with New England. He had his share of issues in Gainesville that got basically swept under the rug. I don't know if again,
Jason, the whole Florida program would not choir boys. I mean, what was it? 20.
I agree, but he was the ringleader of it.
Yes, but you know what? Nobody cared because they won. So would that be? Do you think that the Florida fan base would embrace that? Would Florida go back to that well again? If Urban Meyer, how about I'll throw another name? You ready? Want to play a game here?
Wow.
Nick Saban. Nick Saban.
Too old. He's not coaching again.
No.
Too old.
Okay.
He's not coaching again. Gruden to me is the guy who's still in his prime as far as coaching age. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he can get an NFL. I don't think he can get an NFL job because of all that stuff going on, suing the league. But I think a university administration, i.e. close to where he lives, right here in Tampa, I think they would overlook that. He's never had any, major off the field personal things. I know he had the emails, a little bit of that, but that was at the NFL level. I think he could be a guy where you could make a run with him. He would probably take the job for a little less money because of all the money he's making, probably still from the Raiders. I don't know the contractual deal with that, but I would assume he's getting paid a chunk of that, if not all of that still. Again, just keep an eye, John Gruden.
I don't know if that position for him is a fit. And I'll tell you why. Because John likes to coach. He likes to X's and O's. He likes to get veteran players. Is he a recruiter? Is he a rah-rah guy? Yes. But could you see him, engulfing himself, committing himself to the NIL, to going to the parents' houses and recruiting these kids? I don't know if that works. I don't know if that's a fit. Kiffin definitely is a fit, and you could see it because it's an upgrade over what he's got right now. Florida program's got the history there. That would make sense. And again,
I think Lane would be number one on the list.
Yeah.
I think he would take the job because I don't think he can win a national championship at Ole Miss. Could he make the playoff at Ole Miss? Yes, but I don't think he can win it all at Ole Miss. I think he could win it all at Florida. With the right quarterback, recruiting, and he knows the state of Florida inside and out with his dad's connections and all his stuff. And by the way, we have a developing situation. I am tied in my game at the 2-minute warning. I need 2 yards rushing to win the game, and they're on the Atlanta 15, and they have timeouts, so they're not going to kneel it out. They got to run the ball 2 more yards out of Saquon, and I'm a winner.
All right, winner, chicken dinner. So hopefully you get that. Christopher Cole says, Tim Tebow. I've heard it all. Coaching, he's never coached before. It's Tim Tebow.
Please. Stop. Don't waste your breath, bro. Please.
Christopher Cole, love the comment.
Yeah.
I think Jacksonville missed out on an opportunity.
Tim can coach the church team. How about that? He can be the church flag football coach.
Praise the Lord. And
praise the Lord. God bless America.
God bless America. All right, Jason Powers on Sports Podcast. Go ahead and promote yourself here on the Evolution.
Again, Powers on Sports podcast. Check out the Press Box Radio Show Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, 8 to 10 a.m., pressboxradio.com. You can listen live or on demand. We talk all things football around the Southeast, SEC, Florida, all the good stuff, NFL. I do Powers picks on Thursday mornings. I give you 6 picks every week. I'm 11-7 after 3 weeks.
All right.
Exactly. And Powers on Sports podcast, for Football Insiders podcast. I'm going to be hanging out with Peter at the Press Box on Saturday for the Florida. Hopefully he doesn't eat all the boxes of turkey sandwiches and ham and the chips and the cookies. Save some lemonade for me at the refill station.
No lemonade for you. And they're not going to have the self-serve ice cream machine. We got to get you credential with the Bucs because that's the highlight, my friend. And they have the Sunday bar too. Like you can get the Oreo cookies and the M&Ms. And I'm going over there. I'm trying to go over there twice. I'm trying not to look like a pig, but I'm a pig when I go over there. It's like a buffet. It's beautiful.
Now that I know you got the Tesla, I got to get a test drive in the Tesla. Jeez.
Yeah, my friend. Yes, Jason Powers, Powers on Sports podcast, the superstar himself from Spectrum Sports 360. Appreciate the time, my friend. All right, we'll see you next Monday,
brother.
We'll see you on Saturday nights.
Saturday night, I'll be there.
All right, the gang will all be together. All right, good stuff there. I'm going to wrap it up right there, guys. It's been a great show on a Victory Monday. Thanks a lot to all the calls, all the text messages. Of course, our guest for the night, Mr. Jason Powers. Powers on Sports podcast. We'll be back on Wednesday night at 9 o'clock with the legend, Mr. Leo Haggerty, Ryan Neal. And, of course, we'll be getting you ready for Tampa Bay Buccaneer football versus the Denver Broncos. Can the 2-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers continue that winning streak, continue the momentum for the year? Once again, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Give to YouTube Super Chats if you like the content. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Facebook stars are also available. And do 3 things for me. You know them, you love them, you got to have them, and you'll never hear me say this again. Go Eagles, beat the Falcons. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. We'll see you next time on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. And as always, go Bucs and happy Victory Monday.